Hi guys, I'm Annabelle and welcome to Meeple Village. Today we're going to be doing a full run through of Maladum Dungeons of Enveron. And this is the dungeon crawler I've been looking for. I mean, I think the table presence is amazing. You're going to see it when you start watching the run through. I did try to do an unboxing for this game when I first got it, but one of my cameras decided that I didn't want to show you guys, so I had to skip it. But today we're going to do a run through so you can see. And it's actually better because you can see what the game looks like once I've put it together. And let's dig right in. Let's play Maladum. Alright guys, I have the game almost ready to go. Actually, I think for the most part it's ready to go, but let's take a look because this is a monster of a game as far as like presence. Is beautiful. I mean, just look at it. It's got walls, it's got doors that open up, it's got terrain, and you know, what they're trying to accomplish with this game is that you get immersed in it. I love the fact that you don't have cards for equipment. Your equipment actually goes into your hero slots, and kind of like Chronicles of Abel, you can only carry as much as you can fit in your inventory. And we start with a little bit, which I'll show you, but this is the map, obviously. And we're gonna play through the tutorial mission. I've played through it a couple times with other players, solo, so I'm kind of familiar with it. So I'm not gonna follow per se because if you buy the game, you learn to play by following turns, and they tell you even what the monsters and you roll, just to explain everything. But I think we can do away with that and we can try to accomplish the mission. Our mission today is to go all the way to this tomb and search it, and there's an objective token in it, and then we have to hero quest style. After we get the objective token, we have to exit through the entrance, which is right here. Other than our objective room, we have a chest over here that contains you know, equipment probably, and a crate that contains even more stuff, and I've already put random tokens in there. We also have the entrances, so these are the entry points for the monsters. Whenever we spawn monsters, they're going to come in through either one of these doors, or they can also come in through these circles, big circles. They're grave points, I guess, so they come out of the graves. And we have our entry point, which is all the way here in the corner. And moving over here, we have our event deck, which we're not going to be using the first round, but after that we're going to get an event. And the event is kind of thematic in that as we get deeper into the dungeon, things get worse for us. And the way you keep track of that is with this dread track, which starts at 2. There's 2 pegs already in it, but every turn we're going to increase it. And also if you use magic, it's going to increase, because magic in this game, the backstory of the game is that magic, only certain people can use it, and it's kind of weird to use it. You might not always get it right, so there is a chance that you might get it wrong. Dice, of course, but in any case, so this is our dread tracker, and over here we have the monsters that will be appearing in this scenario. Actually, for this scenario only the first 2 will appear, which, you know, makes sense because it's a tutorial, and we'll take a look at their stats later when we need to, so that I don't extend this introduction, which I think is already long enough. And then our heroes, we have a magic user, which is Morana, and this is her reference card for the magic that she can use. And then we have our tank, Callum. So but that's it. So that's it. That's really all you need to know. We're gonna get ready to go. So in a solo game, you get to pick which one of your heroes you want to act first. This, by the way, is their activation token, so it should be, they haven't acted yet. But if you're playing with more players, then there is a first token marker, or a player marker, and it goes around and you can choose that way. But before we can even move our heroes, we have to go to the first phase of the game. And by the way, in this game you can also search rooms. So there's a little bag with tokens and traps, I should say, that's in here in case we, instead of searching, or aside from chasing searching the terrain that's already there, we want to chase the room, we can only do that once, and then we mark it as search. I have some tokens off camera that you'll probably see as we use them. So the first phase of the game is the dread phase, and in the first turn we are going to increase dread by 1, adding a black peg. We would also draw an event card during the dread phase, but because it's the first turn, we're not going to draw an event card. The game kind of gives you a respite for the first turn only. Okay, so we are up to 3 right here. The next phase in the game is finally the adventure phase, and every adventurer can take actions according to how many actions they have unlocked at the beginning of the game or the tutorial. We each have 2 actions. I'm going to show you everybody in a minute. And we can also take an effortless action. So what are our actions? Well, you know, the basic stuff: move, attack, either melee or range. We could search as an action. We could use magic as an action. We can do some other stuff that we're not going to use during the tutorial, but we can persuade NPC characters, which might show up later in later scenarios. We could cast spells, we could rest. There's a bunch of stuff that we can do. And then there's that effortless action, which we get 1 per turn. And some of the most common things that we're going to do with those, and that's a free action, like, well, I mean, it's effortless. Like it kind of just assumes that your hero does that in a flash without much effort. Opening a door would be one. Another one would be throwing an item. So let's say you want to throw your weapon at another hero so he can equip it. You could do that, although I don't know, but yes, you can throw an item. You can use some items and spells if they are effortless, and they will be checked in wherever you got the item from, if it's probably in your inventory. One of the ones that we will probably use the most is a dash, which just means that you can move 1 extra space. It doesn't take an action to do it, you just move 1 more. It's kind of like the hero moved quickly to the side. You can give or you exchange items with other heroes if you're adjacent. And this game is, I would say, it's huge. What you're gonna see here, it doesn't even like amount to the craziness that can happen in this game. And just the leveling up system is amazing. And I'm gonna show you one of the characters. We're gonna start with Callum. So I'm gonna show you Callum, and I will kind of guide you through what else you could expect from the game if you decide to play. All right, so this is Mr. Callum. I know some of you have asked, you know, to show the minis up close, because I know when I put them on the board, they don't show as good, of course. I am by no means an experienced painter. I have been doing it for a few years, it's true, but like, I'm not good. I'm not artistic. I don't have skills as an artist. I can't draw. I can't do any of that fun stuff. All my artistic abilities went to music. That's why I'm in a band. If you don't know it already, the name is At the Starlight. Check out our music. But, you know, I did what I could with him, so that's him. And then let's go through his things. So this is his character board. And the game actually starts with another one of these that I took off because for this scenario, he starts with armor. So he has 1 block every time he gets attacked. Then these are his stats. We got health. We got his skill points, which we're not going to use during the tutorial, but they allow you to use these skills that we're going to talk about in a minute. Then he's got magic. He's not that great at magic. He's not a magic user. He's a tank. He's got 2 actions, and this is his XP, which, well, if you're just playing a 1-goal scenario, it's not going to do much. But throughout a campaign, you notice that some of the circles have a wax seal already on them, and then the white circles is the potential for you to get better at those stats as you play the campaign. So he can get a lot of XP. He can get 1 more hit point. He can get 3 more skill points. He can get 2 more magic, etc., etc. He's never going to have more than 2 actions though. All right, so down here is his I guess his whatever he chose to be. He's a sellsword, but I think if you flip it, there's a different one here. Yep, what is this? He could be that. I'm not going to even pretend that I can say that. But he has different skills, and he could use magic because these are spells. But the game suggests that you start with sellsword, and let's see if I can flip it back. So as a sellsword, he has a bunch of skills. He already is proficient at level 1 with the weapons mastery. However, in the tutorial, I don't think that's going to come into play. A lot of things don't come into play as usual in tutorials. The game wants you to just get the feel of what the game is like, which is what I'm trying to show you guys. I don't know why this is not even. It's driving me crazy. Maybe you shouldn't. All right, so down here, well, actually, this is his inventory. So he has an axe, I guess. Let's see, the name is in the back. Yeah, that's an axe. And this numbers, that's how much it costs, and that's how much you can sell it for. So nice, we got a $9 axe just right off the bat. And down here is we're matching the top pretty much. He's got 4 health, so this is his health tracker. He's got only 1 skill, but you notice there's 2 pegs. That's because his sellsword gives him an extra skill point, and then he's got 1 magic. And when you suffer damage, you're just going to remove pegs. It's much easier than having to deal with that. He's got slots for status effects. One of the most commons that you will see, hopefully, is Blessed, which lets you reroll. But, oh, and also you'll notice there are costs here. That's because in this game you can create your own character from the get-go. You set a specific amount of money. I don't remember what the money is called, but I guess maybe gold. And then you can buy different things, like you can buy a different character and different stuff, and even like add stuff depending on his XP and whatever. But we're not going to use it for the tutorial because we're using pre-made characters. He's also proficient in this, but again, in the tutorial, it's not going to come into play. So he's going to go first. He's got 2 actions as indicated here, and he's probably just going to move and search. Let's do it. So right now, he's not even on the board. He's at the entrance of the dungeon, I guess you can say. And he's going to, first of all, take a move action. And when you have a move action, you can move up to 4 spaces. You can move diagonal. However, this move is not allowed. So if I was here, I cannot move diagonal into that space because there's the crate blocking, I guess. But he can reach the crate with 4. He has to move straight through the entrance. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually a couple of ways he could have done that. 1, 2, 3, 4, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is that he got to the crate. That ends his movement. Once you're done with the movement, you can do another action, and his second action, like I said, is going to be search. So to search, we just open it and we dump the contents because, again, this game doesn't use cards. And there it is. He's got 2 things. Let's take a look at what they are. And then because it's search, I'm going to leave it kind of open to remind myself that I already searched in there. So he found a bow, which is a range attack, and you'll notice these 2 numbers. So there's these line of sight or range trackers, small, medium, and there's also a large, but you know, we don't have that one. That one is just longer than this, I guess. This bow can attack for either short or medium range, and depending on which one you're using, the attack will roll either 1 or 2 dice. So 1 if short range and 2 in medium range. So it's actually better because it's a long bow, I guess. Let's take a look. It's a short bow. So why is it better at medium range? I guess because when your enemies are, I don't know. Or maybe I have it backwards. Let me check. No, I was right. This is the short range and this is the medium range. So it's better at medium range than it is at short range. So he's going to equip that. What else did he get? So he also got this, which you have to lose it. It takes an effortless action to use, but you can get 1 health back. And just so you know, I'm not going to go through all of them, but there is a whole lot of icons that you can look through. I think there's like 3 pages of these things, maybe more. And you know, you can, if you're ever not sure what something does, then you look in here. And since I'm in the book, I will also show you, because I wasn't kidding, there are like tons and tons and tons of pages of explanation for all the skills that I showed you. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages of different skills. And if you have one of these, like he has the Weapon Master, I think, they're color coded. Which I'm not great at what everything does, but there's the Weapon Master, for example. So at level 1, make a melee attack with a weapon, you may reroll 1 die. But again, in the tutorial, we don't use it. And then it even has, so in order to do this, you have to spend a skill point. But there's a passive, which is always active. You may use the shield block ability as an effortless action. You still become fatigued. So again, they don't want us to use all of that because we probably don't even know what that means. I mean, I've read through the entire book, so I kind of know, but I don't want to confuse you guys. But just know that there's tons of ways you can go with your characters, which means it'll probably be more fun to play with more people so that you can, have different characters go in different directions. But he's equipped his stuff and he's all finished, so we're going to put the activation token on him to designate that he's been activated, and then we're going to go to Morana. So what is Morana going to do? Well, she better move, right? You kind of are required to move the first time because you're not even in the game. So she's going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll stand here next to Callum. I wonder if Callum wants to give her stuff because as an effortless action, she could get the bow. But I think I will let Callum be like the attacking guy. And she does have a staff, which is pretty good. Rolls 2 dice. Oh, by the way, I have to show you her. But before I do that, I'm going to move, and I'm going to move 1, 2, and I'm going to stand here on this graveyard point, because if a monster spawns from there, from the graveyard, that one doesn't count because she's standing on it, and a monster cannot like spawn where she's standing because 2 people cannot, or 2 people cannot be in the same spot. So she's going to stand there, and then as an effortless action, she's going to open the doors, because that is free. So doors have been opened, and we're trying to get to our objective. So there we go. Let me show you what she's all about. She's also been activated, so that would go on her. Okay, so here's her stats. She's got only 3 health, 2 skill points, 2 magic, 2 actions, but she could have up to 3. And then for her, she's a rook, and she has 2 spells available to her. By the way, these, I shouldn't have done that, but there's a dry erase pen, and you can mark that as your character levels up, and then you see how easy it is to get rid of it, so you can play the game again and just start from scratch with your character. And then that's her equipment. Like I said, she's got, what is this? Let's check it out. She has a quarterstaff that cost 8, sells for 4, and this one can attack diagonal. That's what that is, at one space away, because usually you cannot attack diagonal. So, and she rolls 2 die, and she has an apple, which when you rest will let her gain 1 health. That's the symbol for rest, which means that the thing that Callum got doesn't require him to rest. He can just use it as an effortless action to heal 1. So that's great. And the rest is pretty much the same. She doesn't have any skills here, but she does have an innate skill. And you see that if you later on, if you get armor, I'm not going to pull it out, but if you later get armor, you can replace your innate skill with the armor if you'd like to, or jewelry or whatever you find. And she's got these 2 things, but again, in the tutorial, it doesn't matter. And I wanted to show you one last thing. If you flip this over, you get the NPC of the character. So if you're not playing with this hero, he might show up, she might show up in a mission as an NPC with stats and stuff, health, everything, and you use another one of these boards, a smaller one, to track it. All right, so let's have Morana go. Actually, she went already. And just one last quick thing. This is the reference card for her. So she's got, remember she had 2 spells, which I erased 1. Hopefully, I mean, I'll have to find the dry erase marker to do it. But well, I know she's got 2 spells, it's fine. So she's got Bless, which takes an action that is indicated by that icon right there. And target gains X Bless tokens. X equals the amount of pegs you use to cast the spell. But you can only use as many pegs as your level, and she's level 1, so should be just using 1, so we want Blessed token. And again, Blessed tokens let you reroll. And she also has an attack, forced, what is this called? Forced energy, focused energy. So as an action, 1 dice range attack with these, which again in the tutorial we don't use, but again, X will probably be 1 since, you know, she's at level 1. And I say probably because when you do magic, you do have to roll a dice, and you have to roll a magic die, and there's a chance that your magic will be like super powerful and you can make X go higher. But again, I'll show you that when it happens. So both of our adventurers have guns, so it's time for the monsters. So the first thing we do is we spawn new monsters, and it's going to depend on where we are on the dread track. So right now we are here on this quiet. So you'll notice there's a picture of this guy, the Lamenter, and we roll a die to determine how many and where the Lamenters come from. So let's do that. So this die has 1 hand and 2 hands. These are there will be 2 monsters or 1 monster coming out of the graveyard, or the grave points. And then there's 2 chances that we'll get 1 monster from one of the doorways, and 1 chance that we'll get 2 monsters from one of the doorways. So let's roll. Okay, so we're gonna get one monster out of a doorway, and to find out what doorway he comes out of, we roll another die. There's a lot of rolling in this game, and we actually get to roll the magic die, which is a multi-purpose die. It has numbers just like a six-sided die, so that 4, a 2, a 6, and then there's other stuff that we really don't use during the scenario, but even if you have to move somebody, it has arrows to like indicate which way they're moving. I guess left or right, or down, there's down, yeah, and sure. But what we care about now is a number. So they're coming in through entry point number 2. And by the way, here's a closer look at the Lamenters. Painted, although they're kind of dark, but you can tell that they've got some kind of like orange flowing out of them. So there we go, let's use this guy. So these monsters will go in the entryway, but they immediately get an action. Now we look at the Lamenters, and it tells you how many actions they've got. All of their stats are here. So they have, where is it? One action is right there. Yeah, and they do have this symbol, which is first strike. If whenever they reach an opponent, a friendly, one of our guys, they will attack immediately. But I don't think they can reach us with just 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to move in a straight line, going towards, of course, the person that he can see. All right, and that's the adversary phase. Then we go the adversary phase, and then we move to the NPC phase. There are no NPCs in the tutorials. We skip right through that, and then we have an assessment phase, which is just some cleanup. And right now in the tutorial, all we're gonna do is get our stuff back. That's all that happens during that phase. So you have just witnessed a full round of Maladum. We're gonna go to round 2. We're gonna start with the dread phase. We're gonna add, of course, a peg. And then we're going to have our first event, because round 2 and onwards, we are getting those nasty events. So what's the first one? It is an alarm. And these, for the tutorial, they're supposed to be placed in a specific order. I didn't remember the order very well, so I shuffled a bunch of them, but I do believe that this is the first one that should come up. Okay, and you notice that, like I said, it's thematic because it depends on where we are with the dread meter, and right now we are in the disquiet phase, so that would be the top section right here. If we were further down, then we would read these things, but all we have to do is the first one. Your presence has sounded an alarm. Increase the dread by 1. So of course the first thing that we do when we come here is we trigger an alarm and people know we're here. That's why monsters are coming at us every turn. And this gets discarded, which, you know, we'll just put it down here so that we don't make a bigger mess. And we're going to increase the dread because of the alarm. We're still at disquiet, but you know, it's moving quickly. By the way, we lose if we get to dismay. We lose the scenario, so we have to be quick. I think it's dismay. Let me double check. Yes, I was right. So we don't have a lot of time. We better move it. And it is our turn to move it. So let's go. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can attack. So I don't have range. How about him? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have Callum, because I kind of want Callum. If Callum can get rid of him, then I can have Morana head quickly towards the objective. So Callum is going to go first. He can move diagonal. 1, he can move through her. 2, but not stop there. 3, 4. And from here, he's going to use, well, it would be short range, unfortunately, because this guy is really close. I wonder if he can stay back a bit. But no, let's just go. So because he's using his bow at the short range, he only gets 1 die. So let's look at the combat die, because that's something else that's kind of cool. All right, so these are the combat die. You always roll this blue die, which is the only die that has a crit, which is 2 hits. Yeah, we don't do a lot of damage. And there's this skull, which we don't use during the tutorial. But what happens is if you roll 2 skulls, your weapons might break. Bad stuff might happen. But during the tutorial, we don't care about those. So he's only rolling 1, so he's only rolling that one. These just have, you know, the skull and then 50-50 chance of hitting. This guy has a little bit more chances of hitting because he's got 4 results that can hit and then a blank. Okay, so he got 1 hit. The monsters, if they don't have these hearts like this guy does, which is the big baddie, I guess the biggest guy in the group, then all that it takes to kill him is one hit. Some though have armor like these two. However, the Lamenter has no armor, so one hit will kill him, so he is out. And Callum has used both his actions. He moved and then attack. Of course, he hasn't used his effortless action, so for his effortless, we're going to move him one. Maybe he'll get the chest. Maybe we'll just keep going. Honestly, chests here in the tutorial serve you no purpose if you're doing just like a one, kind of like one go. Because if you were playing in a campaign, you can sell the stuff after you're done with the scenario. But in this scenario, it just means he might get a better weapon, but he's got pretty good weapons. I'm not concerned about that. So he's done. Let's go to Morana. She's just going to move. So she's going to move her 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for an effortless, she'll move one more. Really trying to get there before they get to us. And she has acted. All she did was move, but somebody has to. All right, so we finished with the adventurers. So we're going to go to the adversary phase. And we're still in this quiet. So we're still just rolling to see if we get any lamenters. And we do, and it's coming out of a grave point. So we look at the closest grave point. Let's bring one of these guys. And I mean, the game looks really cool as far as the walls and everything. But let me tell you, when you're sitting down, it's hard to see what's going on. You kind of have to play the game standing up. So I think the Lamenter is going to end up there. That's the closest to a hero. Let's see. This is 1, 2, and this is from here is 1, 2. Actually, we have a choice because they're both the same. 1, 2 or 1, 2. And because Callum is our tank, we can choose to put the guy here. And then he's going to activate right away. So he's going to move 4, 1, 2. That's all he needs. He is engaged, which means he is, you know, in a confrontation here with Mr. Callum. And if we look at him, we can see how much he rolls. Right there, he rolls 2 die, and he poisons us. So hopefully he doesn't hit us. Okay, so he got 1 hit on us. However, remember, Callum has armor, so he blocks and doesn't take the poison, because poison only affects us if he actually gets hurt. And that's it. You see that turns go fast, especially in the tutorial. I'm guessing later on when you have a billion monsters out in the dungeon, then it's going to be more complicated. But for now, we're good. So we will have an NPC phase, but again, there's no NPCs here. So after that, we have the assessment phase, and right now we would just do this. If Callum was poisoned, then we would have to deal with the poison status. There's a reference sheet for all of that, of course. Actually, it's all in the book. I wish they had more reference sheets. I even went to Board Game Geek and tried to find some, but I couldn't. All right, so we're back to the dread phase. We're going to get another peg. This is our last disquiet moment. And we're going to get an event. And I think this is also the second event, because again, in the tutorial, you're supposed to just open the deck up and it's already in an order. But you know, we're feeling lucky. And this is all the way from Disquiet to Doom. And you'll notice here this symbol. That means this is a novice card. And those cards get, of course, cold as we become stronger. You'll have less and less of these gray cards. Because this one says, reduce dread by 1, all adventurers in play become blessed. So now we have a blessed token and we're reducing the dread. So the blessed tokens look like that, and we're gonna put 1 on each adventurer. We're gonna get rid of a peg, and then there's these slots to keep these things in. So I'm guessing you can only have 3. And now we are back to the adventurer phase. I feel happy that all we're getting is a Lamenter. We're not into distress when we're gonna get a second monster, which would be the Moria. There's her picture there. But yeah, so Callum is going to go first. He's going to hopefully have a go at this guy. Actually, I should probably have her go first just to see how far she can go. And then, because she's not going to come back and help Callum, not yet. So let's have Morana go first. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, and she needs to stop because, of course, there's a door. But she'll use an effortless action to open such door, because you can take an effortless action whenever you want during your turn, as long as you only take 1. How do you open? Which side? Oh, that way. Okay. And then she'll take another move. 1, 2, 3, and she is by the chest, but she's already used her 2 actions, so she'll have to search next time. That's why I said that there's no way she's gonna go help Callum. So Callum has work to do. He's gonna kill that guy, and then I'm not sure if I want to come over here just to protect her, because after she's done here we have to run all the way down, but she will, next turn she'll just be able to search and then move a little bit, not that much. So maybe Callum should go stand guard and be Morana's bodyguard. I mean, she's not totally defenseless. She does have a weapon that rolls 2, just like Callum, but you know, Callum has the armor and she doesn't. All right, so let's roll. So Callum has his axe. Because we're in close range combat, he cannot use his range, but he can use his axe, which rolls 2 dice, which is actually better than rolling just 1 at short range. So let's roll 2. And he got 1 hit, which is all he needs, because these guys do not have armor. So another guy gone. You don't get anything for killing him except that they don't bother you anymore. And yes, we're gonna go protect 1, 2, 3, 4. This is as far as he can go, and he's activated, so we'll mark it, and he can actually move 1 more because of the effortless. So he'll stand right there, stand guard in case monsters come out of these doors. If they come out of these doors, then, and we might not get a monster. Well, we'll have to see in the next phase, which is right now the adversary phase. We're gonna roll to see what comes in. And we actually rolled a blank, so we're okay. We're gonna get a little bit of respite this next turn. That sounds great. So nothing attacks, that's all good. No NPCs. Let's go to the assessment phase where we don't have any statuses affecting us. We're all at full health. It's funny, in this game, I've played it, like I said, a few times. Sometimes you roll so bad and the game just overpowers you and there is no escape. Right now, I think we're doing pretty good, but of course, we still have to haul ass all the way here. So don't count your blessings yet. So we did the assessment. Now we're gonna start another one. We're gonna add a peg. And we're again leaving the disquiet, but for this turn we get another disquiet. So let's look at our event, and we get lucky once again, because if you read this one, which is all the way from disquiet to doom, the Malagount, I don't know how to say his name, Malagount, I guess, he's like the big bad guy that we're trying to fight. Channels, I mean, fight at the end of the campaign, I guess. Actually, he can come in at any time, I believe. But he's like the big boss. So he channels its magic through its minions. All engaged adversaries make a 2 melee attack with fire. Then all unengaged adversaries make a move action. So we have no adversaries either engaged or unengaged, so this does nothing. Alrighty, so we just have to move. This feels like Hero Quest in that, well, I mean, she still has to get the objective, but I've gotten the objective and now all I gotta do. Now, it's a little bit different than Hero Quest, because if you see my Hero Quest playthroughs, I'm on cleanup duty. Monsters only spawn when you enter a room. So if you kill the monsters, then there's nothing chasing you out of the dungeon. Here, we're going to leave it to luck. And we just got lucky, but we might not get lucky next turn. And some more monsters might show up and chase us and try to stop us from leaving. But in any case, we're going to have Morana's turn first. She's going to search. So we're going to open the tomb. And we're going to dump the contents. Let's dump them right here. Okay, and put it back. And what did she get? The first thing she got is the objective token, so we'll keep that. She also has some arrows that we don't really need right now. We got a weapon that hits diagonal with 2 dice, so pretty much the same thing she's already got. Of course, it's got an ability, but we're not using those for the tutorial. And she got herself another apple. She must really like apples. And again, we have to only carry what we can fit. So we definitely want to carry the objective token. And if we put this weapon, we won't be able to carry our apple. But because this weapon is exactly like our other weapon, and we're not going to be able to sell it, I think the apple, believe it or not, is more important, because it will let us heal extra if we do get hurt. And since we have the space, we can do that there. And now this token, I can leave it back in there for Callum to pick it up if he wants to, or, you know, or not. because we're in a race to get out of here, I don't know that Callum has the time to go all the way to the tomb and pick it up, but you know, sure, I don't want it. I mean, it's not that I don't want it, I want it, but I can't fit it, so it's going to stay there. Alrighty, so, and that was her search action. Now she's going to have a move action. By the way, now that I'm dealing with these, the terrains, you have to put them together. There's a video on how to do that. Pretty good video on the website. It's not hard at all. You do have to use, preferably you have to use a little bit of glue so that they won't fall apart on you. But they kind of stick together pretty well. Like they've done a good job. All right, so she's gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4. And she's going to use her effortless to move one more because we're trying to get out of here. And I don't know, Callum has, I don't want to leave her too far behind, but if monsters come out of these places, then it's better that Callum is the one that they target. So I guess we have to both get out of here. So 1, 2, 3, wait a second. Where was he here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe he'll even go here. So he's not too far, and he'll search. So, oh, by the way, she's being activated since he's by the chest and he has to wait for her friend. So we'll search and we'll dump these contents. And what do we get here? We've got a sword that attacks for 2, that's melee. We've got this thing, which we can, I believe we can just sell it. I think it sells for $3. Yeah, I think it's just to sell. I don't think there's anything important about that one. And then we've got a shield, which is good because now we can have even more protection. And you have to put it on. He can put it on with an effortless action because of his skills, but remember we're not using those. But I think we should be fine without it. So, but just in case, what you'll do is with as an effortless action for him, or as an action if you don't have that skill, you kind of bring it up here, and then as soon as you get damage, and it blocks, what does it block? Yeah, it says as an action here. And as soon as you take damage, you bring it back down. I don't remember how much it blocks. We can go check it out, but I don't think it's important. We're not going to use it. I think our armor is fine, but now our inventories are full. So, well, there's nothing else to pick up. So actually there is, because we could search the rooms, remember? We could do that as an action and get more stuff, but there's traps, so you have to be careful if you want to face those or not. All right, but we're done. It's the adversary phase, so we're still on the disquiet, so we're gonna roll for Elementor. And we do get Elementor this time. It's coming out of a doorway. And it's coming out of doorway number 5. So he'll be right here, and he's going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, that's all he needs. Because he has first strike, he attacks. All right. And he actually rolls 2 blanks. Oh my goodness, this guy. Okay, well, that's it. We're okay, I guess. That was lame. All right, so we go to the NPC. There's no NPCs. We go to assessment. Nobody has poison or other statuses. So we are going to go back to the dread phase and add another one. So this time we're in distress. So our event might be a little different. And we get a Balefire. Now this one wouldn't have changed because it goes all the way from Disquiet to Doom. So again, the boss channels his magic through one of its minions. The closest unengaged adversary to an enemy targets that enemy with a 2 dice range attack with fire. Then all unengaged adversaries make a move action. But luckily, there are no unengaged adversaries. The only adversary in the game is engaged. So this again does nothing, and we are getting so lucky. All right. Trust me, it's not always like that. So that's it. But we are going to be getting a Moria now from now on. So, all right. So let's have Callum attack, because if he misses, we can have Morana come and help. So he's going to attack, but he does have a blessed token, so we can re-roll. All right, he does hit for 1, so that's all we need. So he's done, and then he's going to move, because we got to get out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's as far as he got, and his effortless for 1 extra. Okay, and again, if we were playing with all the skills and stuff, he could use his effortless action to equip his shield, but he's out of actions to equip it for the tutorial mission. So he's done. And then Morana's just gonna run one, what is this? He was here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for her effortless, she'll move next to Callum. Right here. Okay, they're both at the doorway. Alrighty, so we go to the adversary phase. She's been activated, and now because we're on distress, we roll for the Lamenter, but we get a Moria no matter what. And the Moria stats are here. She does have an armor. She rolls 2. She doesn't have the first strike, but she does have 2 actions, so it's kind of like she has first strike. Not that she has first strike, but she gets to move and attack. And here's a look at our Moria before I put her on the board. She, I don't know, she looks like a tree, kind of, with a sword and a bone leg. Really cool. I had fun painting this one. Alright, she's coming out of number 6. So that means she's here. Okay, she's kind of far, so I guess that's good. Let's move her. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's actually a chart. I can show it to you. And it kind of shows you, like, you start here and then you say yes or no and you go down and you can look at it, but pretty much, you know, is there somebody in line of sight or do they have range attack? And if not, they kind of move. But you can take a look at that. But she's basically moving twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And she does not have range. She is a melee attacker. Yes, she is. This guy has range. That's why it has like that target. But this is a fist, so it's melee. So, all right. So that's the adversary phase. And then after the adversary phase, we are going to the assessment phase. We're skipping the NPC. And we go back to the dread. We do another peg, but we actually, you know, the Moria, here's the thing with the Moria. I kill her, she's gonna come back because every turn she just comes back. So might as well try and escape if we can and just leave her be. But before we can do all that, we do need an event. Okay, so disquiet and distress. So we're still on the first one. What does this say? Your enemies are spurred on by unseen forces. All adversaries in play immediately take 1 action following the normal rules. Okay, 1 action it is. So the only adversary we have is Moria, so she's going to take an extra action. However, again, she's melee, so all she can do is move. 1, 2, 3. Actually, she would move to the one in line of sight and closest. So I guess they're both 3, but it doesn't matter because we're going to run. So she's there. So now it's our turn, and yes, even though we are engaged, we can run. Actually, we can't. We do take 1 damage. Like, they get to attack if we run. So let's say that she's here, and I guess Callum is going to have to attack her. And good luck to him. So, but he does have a blessed token. So let's try it. Because yes, if you're engaged and you move out, you what is it called? The guy attacks. The monster attacks. There's a name for that. I forgot. Maybe I'll check it out. Alright, so Callum got 1 hit, and that's not enough because she's got armor. So he's going to use his blessed token, and you discard it to use it, and re-roll because I really want to kill this person. Alright, that's more like it. So 2 hits, 1 for the armor and 1 to get rid of her. She'll be back though. And then Callum has, I can move, so he's going to move 4, stuck on the door. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, not enough to get out. So he's just gonna come here and actually, let me see, he was here, so he can go 1, 2, 3, 4 and stand here so that the monster doesn't come out of there if it comes out of the graveyard. And for our girl, she is going to run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and she's out. So she won't be taking any more actions. It's all about Callum now. He's got quite a bit of time to get out. But before we do that, he's been activated and she's already all done. We go to the adversary phase and we're going to roll a die and we're going to get a Moria. So let's see if anybody else comes in. All right, so there is 1 Lamenter coming. Let's see where he comes from. He's going to come through entrance number 2. Okay. So let's put him over there, entrance number 2, and then we are gonna get a Moria. Let's see where she comes from. She's coming from door number 3, which is even further away. So I think we've got this. Now they both are gonna go. So, and the way you activate him is by rank orders. So if you look at the ranks right here, he's 3, he's 2, he's 2, and he's 1. So basically you just move from left to right, activating them. So the Moria is gonna go first. She's gonna move twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 can reach, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 can reach. So I think next turn we should be able, of course, we still have to deal with an event, which the adversary phase is done, no NPCs. We go to a assessment phase, we get rid of our activation token, we go to the dread phase, we're gonna add a peg. We are still in distress over here. Let's get an event. All right, we get Snap, which is all the way from Disquiet to Doom. Select an adventurer at random, which is only one adventurer in the game right now. A random item that they're carrying is broken. Turn the item face down in their inventory. Okay, that's not terrible because I don't think we're going to use our items, so it doesn't matter what gets broken, but we would pick everything up. I mean, they didn't even hurt us. Like, we were flawless. Like, you don't know how many times I've had to use like a rest action so I could rest and heal 1 and get rid of poison, because that's what you do when you rest. All right, so this one is broken. So, oh, it's our bow. Okay, our bow is broken. We turn it around, but I don't think it matters because now it's our turn. Monsters are far away, so you know it. We're going to get out of here Hero Quest style and leave the Moria and the Lamenter behind. And there we go. So I think one activation does it. 1, 2, and 3, and we're out, and we don't even need to take the next action. And that's Maladum. Hope you guys enjoy it. Well guys, there you have it. That was a full run through of Maladum. Of course, I think it went way too easy, way easier than most of my game throughs, but sometimes it's going to go like that. Sometimes you're going to have a harder time. But the game has so much potential, and if you like dungeon crawlers and immersive dungeon crawlers that you can just get lost in them for hours, then this is the game for you. Of course, setup and takedown is hard, I'm not gonna lie, because you gotta put all those walls together, but the game does a pretty good job of letting you know how to set it up. You know, the hardest time I had was trying to figure out which way to put the mat. It took me forever to which is the way, but I think as you get more used to it, you play it again and again, it's going to be more you know, intuitive. And again, the role-playing aspect of it, of how you level up and how you become stronger and get more skills and better weapons, and you sell those weapons, like everything is here. And the abilities of your characters, I mean, it is quite a game for what, you know, a lot of stuff comes in the box, which brings me to one of the problems I have with the game, which I haven't had yet, but I'm sure I will. Once I put all of the terrain together, where am I going to fit it? I'm sure it's not going to fit in here. I mean, I can barely fit stuff already. So that is something that I guess nobody thought about, and I don't have space to put it in another box, maybe? I don't know. If you guys figure out a way to fix that, let me know. But the game itself plays very nice, very smooth, very fast. There's a lot of faces, which I think they could have maybe compiled those a little bit, but I understand why. I mean, in later games, you're going to have NPCs, you're going to have more things to deal with. You can persuade NPCs to do stuff for you. It's going to be crazy. I haven't even started the campaign yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But I wanted to show you guys first, so here it is, Maladum. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, may you play more games.